Hey, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, and I am here today to talk to you guys about XP. Alright, we all know that the XP has been buffed via the increased monster density in the Nightmare Dungeons, Hell Tides. I'll be assessing the Hell Tides separately because a lot of things to unpack there. But talking strictly about Nightmare Dungeons, okay, I did a 4-hour stream solely focusing the entire 4 hours on Nightmare Dungeons just to see how many levels I could gain, assuming that I did nothing but Nightmare Dungeons, no other activities, and assuming that I had elixir buffs, all that other kind of stuff. I'll lay out the testing methodology in a second, but I want to show you guys in this video what my conclusions are about that. And quite frankly, I feel that the XP is not enough right now. Okay, it is being artificially limited by the devs, and that needs to be changed. I'll explain why, okay? And at the end, I will once again state why it needs to change, okay? So let's get into it. First and foremost, what you guys need to know is how my testing was conducted. Now, the link to the entire 4-hour stream is in the description of the video. You can check it out if you so wish, okay? But basically what I did was I just went into my character's inventory, okay? I went into my character's inventory. I picked whichever sigil was reasonable for me to do. Now, of course, I was fighting where monsters are a minimum of 10 levels above me, but more or less they were about 14 to 15 levels above me. I did it on my Necromancer. I'm currently on my Sorcerer because I just finished my stream on Sorcerer, but I did it on my Necromancer, and basically that's what I did. I chose random sigils, okay, to mirror... Thanks, Mom. Mom brought me a hot drink. I chose random sigils to mirror the average player's situation because you're not going to be able to choose the exact sigil you want. I chose random sigils and I played as if I was doing the normal course of things, meaning finishing the dungeon fully, getting the glyph XP at the end, and then moving on. Okay, so I did that full process, and I also made sure to have an elixir on at all times during the testing process, as well as one last thing, my season blessing was maxed out. Okay, so having done and had all that during the testing process, what I discovered was the following. Okay, let me pull up my favorite spreadsheet so I can go through this with you in numerical terms. Okay, so having had all of those factors, basically I tested for 4 hours and I went from level 75 all the way up to level 78. Okay, so my Necromancer gained a total of 3 levels during that entire process. This means that the level gain rate is about 1.3 hours per level, which roughly translates 1 1/3 hours per level, which roughly translates to 1 hour and 20 minutes. And of course, as you can see here in minutes, that translates to 80 minutes per level. Okay, this is with monsters that are 10 levels above you. Okay, let me put my camera back here. This is with monsters that are 10 levels above me. Okay, so that I'm getting the maximum bonus. Now, in case you guys don't know, all right, this was actually stated. You can actually check out the patch notes. Give me one tiny second, and I'll pull up the patch notes as well. If you go all the way back to the patch notes, just to show you here, before the season started, these patch notes dropped, and they stated under the general updates that there is a XP cap and an offset. If you remember this, okay? I just want to show you because this still applies right now, and I just wanted to highlight the point again. The maximum XP that you can gain, all right, is 10 levels. This is the World Tier 4 offset. Up to 10 levels higher. So even if you were to kill a level 100 monster, and let's say your level is 77, you would only gain the XP as if the monster is 87. Okay? And the maximum bonus XP is 15%. This has artificially limited how much XP that we can get, because even if we're killing 15 levels above us and one-shotting those monsters, thanks to Barber Heart and all that kind of stuff, we aren't getting the benefit of killing those monsters 15 levels higher, which is why the current fast leveling methodology is based on whatever monsters you can literally one-shot, kill those, and that'll be your fastest XP gain, and it should be about 10 levels above you Of course, you can go a little bit further. For most builds, you can definitely go further. Kill them in one shot, get the maximum XP, and you will level smoothly. However, this all results in an overall dungeon completion time, even with one-shots, taking into account the fact that you're going to get loot drops, you're probably going to sell those loot drops. Like I said, I did this testing in the normal course of business. I didn't just ignore loot drops or things like that. No, I played, you know, like any average gamer would. Getting a loot drop, selling the loot drops, extracting aspects, upgrading this and that in between. On average, including all of that, plus loading and travel times, most of my dungeons came out to about 13 to 14 minutes on average completion. Some dungeons took about 16 to 17 minutes, inclusive of heading back to town, selling the loot, you know, and then triggering the next sigil and all that. Some dungeons actually were so short, they only took me about 10 minutes, 10 to 11 minutes, you know, fully selling the loot, everything, loading time, dungeon completion, all of that. So on average, it was about between 13 to 14 minutes to complete one dungeon. Now, why is all this a concern? If it's taking me roughly 4 hours to gain 3 levels, meaning 80 minutes per level, okay, in order to go from level 70, now this is where the calculations start. Level 70 to 100, that's 30 levels. Assuming you maintain the same pace, okay, we're gonna make a mathematical assumption here. Assuming you maintain the same pace, it's gonna take you a total of 2,400 minutes. In hours, how long is that? This is in minutes, so we divide this by 60. All right, this is in minutes, this is in hours. So in hours, it's gonna take you 40 hours to actually go from level 70 to 100. This is pretty negative because the average person, okay, and look, I know some of you have argued that you've got even less time than what I'm stating, okay, but I'm just gonna state this very openly. The average gamer, assuming they've got a job, family, and all that, gets 2 to 3 hours gaming time per day. Per day, some days they won't even get that if they have to work overtime, stuff like that. But on average, a safe conservative measure always used by most gaming companies is about 2.5 hours. I just use 2 hours, and I'll use 2 hours and 3 hours to show you the difference in calculations. But here, like, if we were to use 2 hours, assuming 2 hours free time, okay, it would take literally 20 days, okay, and since a season is 90 days, all right, what percentage of the season is this? This, if we were to look in percentage terms, that's 22% of your season to get one character from level 70 to 100. Okay, assuming you do nothing but Nightmare Dungeons, which is the best XP right now. This is too slow. This is far too slow, assuming 2 hours free time. Assuming 3 hours of free time, all right, the numbers look a little better. Assuming 3 hours of free time, it would take us, okay, 40 divided by 3, it would take us 13 days to complete that, which is a much nicer, if we were to say 13 divided by 90, okay, and we put it into percentage terms, that's about 15% of your season will be spent leveling one character from 70 to 100. Okay, does not include the time that you have to farm for gear, all this kind of stuff, just purely focusing on the leveling aspect. Again, this is too slow. You're telling me that 40 hours is about a person working an 8-hour job, 5 days a week is 40-hour work week, right? Okay. Basically, it would take me 1 week treating this game like a full-time job to go from 70 to 100. I'm not talking level 1 to 100. I'm talking level 70 to 100. Using Nightmare Dungeons at the current rate of XP. Now, this is purely solo leveling. Okay, that is one thing I forgot to state early on, and I'm sorry for that. This is purely solo leveling. So I'm not using any, I'm not in a party or with friends, things like that. Assuming just purely solo leveling, this is it. It would be a bit shorter if you don't level solo because you have the party XP bonus. Okay? So to me, this is not good. What is the solution then? Okay? Increasing density in Nightmare Dungeons was a great step in the right direction, but I feel that the biggest problem right now is the level offset. I'm not asking for the level offset to be 20 levels, like, you know, I'm not asking for somebody to be able to kill 20 levels higher like we did in the preseason, But rather than just a level offset of 10, how about we push the level offset up to 12 and maybe increase the bonus XP to, right now it's the bonus XP that you get if you check the patch notes is 1.5 per level, okay, that the monsters are above you, right? I would like it to be 2% per level, still capped at 10. The level offset, meaning that the amount of XP that we can gain from the monster should go up to 12 levels. So let's say we were fighting, let's say I'm level 77, I'm fighting a level 90 monster. It'll be, right now it'll be as if the monster is 87. With +2 level offset, it will be as if the monster is 89, okay, which will mean a higher base XP. And if they just included a little extra bonus, all right, so if it was 2% per level, maxing out at 10 levels, okay, then we would get 20% bonus XP instead, which I think would solve a lot of the leveling issues. Ideally, I would like it to be such that the leveling offset to, or the bonus XP should target 1 level per 60 minutes. All right. If we could get 1 level in 60 minutes purely playing Nightmare Dungeons, I think that would be fairer to the casual players, because as I've always said, one of the biggest gripes that players are having right now with Diablo 4 is that Diablo 4 feels like a full-time job. It should not. I am a full-time content creator. I make videos and stream up to 8 hours per day. And I do this 6 days a week with like 3 hours on 7. So I work 6.5 days a week, not counting my video creation time. Now, of course, I've got a lot of passion for this job and I love it. You know, everybody's always jealous, like, oh man, you play video games for a living. That's great. But this is a full-time job. And if I'm saying that, and like literally treating this as a full-time job, it's still difficult for me to even reach the kind of heights that I want to do, because I'm doing about 5 characters per season. Okay, so I can have builds across the board for all of them. I think that this is not healthy. I think that Diablo 4 is kind of turning into a chore, and that is really turning off a lot of casual players. Sure, you're going to have a lot of hardcore players who will still play the game, and that's great. But you don't want only a hardcore player base. Most games have failed because they only have a hardcore player base. We had a lot of sales for Diablo copies initially. Why? Because casual players were hopping in. And then they got turned off by the grind because they realized seasons, they're going to have to start a new character every season, okay, to play the seasonal content. They have to redo Renown every season, which is a major chore. And now they have received an artificial choke on XP. This is no good in the long term. I want to see this resolved. Comment if you agree, all right? But ladies and gents, I think that this rate of XP gain is far too slow. Okay? If you feel the same way, leave a comment and then, you know, share this video. Let the devs see this video so that they can understand where we're coming from, because I would really like to help the casual players out. I know a lot of my audience are casual as well. They don't have a lot of hours to play the game. It's not fair that they only get to play 1 character per season or something like that, you know, because part of the fun of Diablo is playing all, like, you get bored of 1 character, you hop on another. Of course, the devs themselves have said that they don't want people to just constantly, like, they want people to play the season, put it down, and then come back next season, which is an admirable goal. But you also got to understand there is a fun element for players. Sometimes they just want to try something different, and being able to run 2 characters concurrently and not feel like you can't even finish the season would be a great thing. All right, especially if, assuming 2 hours of free time, their journey from 70 to 100 is 22% of the season, then hey, come on, throw them a bone here. Throw them a bone here. And this is if we take into account Nightmare Dungeons. Sometimes you've got to farm the Malignant Tunnel. Sometimes if you really want the mounts, you've got to farm the Legion events, Hell Tides for potions, things like that, assuming you're lazy to craft your own. All right, and of course you need materials for re-rolling gear and all that kind of stuff. So you're not always going to be able to focus solely on Nightmare Dungeons just to get the levels you need. And this presents a problem. So, devs of Blizzard, I'm asking you nicely. I would really like to see this. Please set the level offset for World Tier 4 to 12. World Tier 3 can go up to 7 just to speed up the leveling process a bit. Okay, World Tier 4 should be 12. And please boost the bonus XP per level, the monsters above you, by 2% instead of the current 1.5. And I think it will resolve pretty much all the issues and get us very close to that 60-minute time. All right, so an hour per level, I think that's fair. Yeah. And this is talking about the full Paragon level, so all 4 Paragon points. Currently, it's at 80 minutes for the full level. Still, look, some people might say, hey, but, you know, then the journey is going to be too short. No, it's not. You still got farming to do. You've got builds to try. Come on. we shouldn't be spending all of our fun time on leveling. That's not fair. Yeah? Okay. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it was informative. I hope it helped to explain the current situation, the current problems that people are facing with leveling up their characters. XP in Diablo is far too low. Okay? That is just me being very honest about this. XP in Diablo is far too low. We can do better. We can do better. Okay? Thank you to all of the supporters that have supported this channel and made everything possible. Big thank you to August Bigwig supporters. Top tipper, Big Chungus at $150. Actually, that amount has increased to, I think, yeah, it should be 219 right now. Let me fix that. Top tipper list, however, also goes to the following individuals. We've got Jason Leaving, excuse me, and Mo Rizzle. Thank you to our top super chatter. Big Chungus and Ender are tied at 50 total. Top super chatter list, Marcos Carrillo, Juan San, Mike Cawthorn, Daryl Neo, Ray's Reality, Mo Rizzle. I'm not that guy. Thank you guys so much. Top channel membership gifter, Big Chungus with 50 gifted subs. Highest channel membership gifters, Mike Cawthorn, Newbie, and Boogs Lugas. Thank you guys so much. Our cosmetic sponsors, Sinner, Nightshade, Newbie, and Big Chungus. Thank you guys so much. Okay. In terms of our channel members that have made all this shenanigans possible, I owe a lot of thank yous here as well. All right. Thank you all for being so amazing. You know, wouldn't be anywhere without my supporters making all the content possible. So, yeah. Starting right at the top, Big Chungus at the only fan level. Thank you so much. We've got Death Dawning 92 at Plus Ultra. We've got Jerry Fast, OG, Rogue Assassin, and Zach MG at Prestige. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to all of our honored robots as well. They are the following people: Juan San, Corey Ryu, Marcel, Kaishiwa, Bob John, Maxim Lotz, Devin Lashin, Mookie Mocha, Rena, Chase Taylor, Nathan Strong, Nightshade, Lady Neo, Joey Danze, Che D12, Syed Assad, Code CMF, Kami SMH, Conrad C, Nate the Great, and Benjamin Savage. Thank you guys so much for everything you've done for me, and I will see you guys on the next video. Remember, comment your thoughts and be sure to share this video so more people can see that we kind of have a problem with XP here.